Futurist Jim Carroll. Are you running a fast race, but you are structured for slow? Look, that's increasingly become the reality for a lot of organizations as we go forward into our post-pandemic future. And that's why one of the keynote topics that I'm working with my clients on is bridging the acceleration gap. It is all about what you need to do to align to a new reality in which the world was fast before the pandemic. It's even faster now. And the gap between your ability to move fast and the speed of the trends which are impacting you is increasing at a furious pace. Let's put it in perspective. Pre-pandemic, organizations were discovering that the pace of change was outstripping their ability to deal with it, and they needed to challenge themselves when it came to agility, flexibility. Well, the pandemic has changed all that, because what it has done is it has taken trends which already existed pre-pandemic, it has accelerated those trends, it has made those faster, and has introduced a whole series of new trends. The gap is real, the gap is growing, and it's becoming more significant all the time. And I will give you 3 examples of just how quickly our world is changing. Take the situation with FedEx. They expected to be hitting 100 million packages per day by the year 2026. That was their estimate pre-pandemic. They now expect to hit that marker this year. That's an indication of just how quickly entire industries are changing. The world of healthcare. It is said that the volume of medical knowledge was doubling every 8 years pre-pandemic. It is now doubling every 78 days, and the industry from every single perspective is struggling to deal with that reality and keep up with the gap between the availability of what is possible and the knowledge that exists. The third example has to do with supply chains. We have gone from a world of just-in-time supply chains to just-in-case, because volatility has come to rule global supply chains as globalization has broken down, and getting the right product at the right time for the right purpose has become absolutely critical to survive. This is the nature of the gap. And what has happened here is a lot of the assumptions that we have pre-pandemic with respect to what we need to do for our business are out of date. They've been changed, they've been accelerated, and you might find yourself in a situation in which you are dealing with some cold, hard realities. Think about what is occurring with the changes that we have witnessed within the last year. We have seen a sudden, unexpected acceleration of the change with consumer behavior. Business channels, your distribution methods are evolving faster than ever before. Customers are moving faster than ever before because they suddenly have discovered the beauty of online shopping and what they can do when they can source product from multiple different organizations. And if you are not operating at the same speed as your competitors, you will find yourself increasingly falling behind. Your planning cycle continually goes out of sync as trends come to accelerate faster than your ability to plan for them and to deal with the reality of what they present. Your product innovation is falling behind because the global pandemic has accelerated the need for innovation cycles to shrink in order to get new product to satisfy these new and challenging consumers. The timing issue with respect to trends has forever changed, because as trends accelerate, your ability to determine when to get fully involved becomes more complex than it was before. The reality of a weak leadership has a bigger impact because the mistakes that you make can now have more profound implications. Not only that, but the impact of wrong decisions is bigger than ever before, because when we operate at speed, errors are magnified. We are in a situation in which we are seeing the quicker irrelevance of strategic planning as everything begins to change at a faster pace. What the pandemic has done, has highlighted the extent of the workforce skills gap. Organizations right now are struggling to find the right skills at the right time for the right purpose as their business needs have become far more complex than it was pre-pandemic. This is what has really happened. The pandemic has highlighted the inability of slow-moving organizations to deal with a fast-paced future. Let me emphasize that again. It has laid bare the inability of slow-moving organizations to deal with a fast-paced future. And if you can't grapple and deal with that reality, you will find yourself increasingly falling behind. What it leads to is a situation in which fast-moving trends are coming up against your structure and the fact that you are structured for slow in an era of fast. I want you to think about what it is your competitors are doing as they go forward at a faster pace. And that's what I'm identifying in the acceleration gap and what you need to do to bridge that gap. World-class innovators have discovered a better appreciation for the impact of digital transformation. They have realized that they can abolish and eliminate the slow structure and decision-making process that comes with committees. They have realized that it is entirely possible to accelerate external partnerships, getting the right skills at the right time and for the right purpose for new and complex circumstances. The reality is that they have discovered how to assemble fast teams to deal with the fast emergence of new issues which did not exist before. They can better align to fast business model disruption because of their ability to move fast. Overall, they've seen the benefit of fast decision making, and they are never going back to the world in which they were before. They've discovered the power of what comes from an instant, flatter infrastructure as layers are eliminated from the decision-making process inside the organization. They have learned how to deploy at speed. When it comes to product innovation, they have accelerated their ability to get new product to market at the right time for the right purpose for the right customer situation. One of the biggest benefits of the pandemic is that these organizations have discovered that it is entirely possible to eliminate PowerPoint and eliminate these slow, ponderous decision-making meetings because the virtual world has led to a world of instantaneity, which is truly and simply staggering. They have learned how to test and realign their supply chain and organize it for resilience, knowing that volatility is the new normal going forward with everything they do. They have discovered what it means to develop the ability to put in place fast change to process. They've bridged the acceleration gap. They have discovered what it means to bridge the acceleration gap, and that is close the gap between the speed of the trends which are occurring and their ability to deal with the reality of those trends.